The Last of Us Part 2 is brutal and has you react in split seconds to take out the many human and infected enemies. I'm now playing through the full version of the game, but as part of a special preview, I am able to talk about a specific section that we saw during the state of play, and well, my playthrough went completely different from what we saw during that presentation. And by the way, we cannot sadly pick up the Vita from the lady we killed, although with the photo mode, we can get a good look at Hotline Miami that was being played. This is also just a very small part of this overall mission in Seattle that has Ellie look for someone specific. And don't worry, I won't spoil anything from the main story, I will just talk about some awesome gameplay parts that really stood out. So a like on the video would be super appreciated, and let's go. I think you will be missing out if you do not plan on playing this game because of the leaks. The gameplay is namely really as fluid as cinematic when holding the controller yourself. It's a technical achievement in many regards. I think it's smart to address that you can better not look at comments of any Last of Us Part 2 video, including this one, because one person can ruin things for you. That's why I put a link to my June giveaway for a 2020 game of your choice in the description of this video. So if you want a chance to win The Last of Us Part 2, then you can participate by clicking that link and also being a subscriber of the channel before you enter. Good luck. It's really impressive how every faction in The Last of Us Part 2 feels completely different, more so than in the first game. The infected and humans will of course also fight each other, something that you can use to your advantage. In this particular hospital mission, we start out against regular infected and clickers that can insta-kill you if they get too close. Both will be super aggressive and run towards you when they hear you. Stalkers are more sneaky and attack you from uncovered angles, but will also crawl away when you get the upper hand. And in this mission you will be trapped inside a building with a ton of those lurking around, although the human Scars faction that you fight a little later on are no fun either. They use creepy whistles to communicate with each other and shoot arrows towards you, and if you get hit and don't remove the arrow by holding R1, you will continuously get damage over time. And the E3 2018 demo we saw was actually part of this mission as well. It's the part you have to survive before you reach the area they showed during the state of play. And here we have to fight this tough guy with a hammer, and in the full game they actually changed it, so he's way more a boss this time around. You namely run up to him no matter what if you want to continue the level, while you could sneak past the other members of the Scars in earlier sections. Something that is, by the way, a totally valid tactic. You are namely constantly low on ammo, and I love how this means that you will always be using all the different weapons that you have. This is not a game where if you find your favorite weapon you are set. No, it really depends on the ammo that the enemies are carrying and that you find along the way. Melee weapons are once again a very good choice though. You always have a regular knife that doesn't deal a lot of damage, so you want to keep an eye out for breakable weapons. And I love how you can take out this enemy and then grab their own weapon, use it against them, after which you hold the weapon yourself. Every strike costs one charge before it breaks, but you can upgrade the weapon, fully repairing it and enhancing the power so that one strike will actually kill the target now, while it first required 2 hits. And having a melee weapon that can one-hit KO enemies is amazing, because aiming for the head in the middle of a fight will be challenging, and it will mostly cost 3 body shots with a pistol to take enemies out. And you unlock these upgrades via special skill lines that you have to unlock by finding magazines in the world. In this particular mission, you could actually find one of those magazines in a building that was completely optional and that you did not have to explore for the main story. I also found a safe in another room in this building that I could not open yet, but later on in the level I found a note that contained a code likely for that safe. So hopefully I can visit this particular building again later on in the game. But it really shows you that apart from resources to make medkits or arrows, there's also a reason to look everywhere for special upgrades that can easily be missed. And the bolts that Ellie can grab can be used to upgrade your weapons at specific working stations. And you've likely already seen the insane animations that are used for upgrading your guns, right? It's really awesome, and it's different per upgrade. And by the way, don't think that you are safe at a working bench. I can only show you footage that was provided by Sony, but also do not want to ruin the surprise. Let's just say that the transition from menu to cutscene to gameplay is really insane. And also not incredibly unimportant, if you die you will be back in the game in a few seconds. And believe me, that is awesome, because especially in the hospital section there will be a ton of enemies hunting you. And that's how overall the encounters in this game feel. You are constantly being hunted. Every enemy has the capabilities to take you out, but together they're an even tougher force to reckon with. They will work together, flank you from different angles, and not shoot, but get into a smart position when you got one of their allies as a human shield. But more impressively, they communicate with each other on another level, something that I've not seen in a video game before. They will mention your last known location or tell where you are hiding, call each other by names, and mourn the death of a specific enemy that you killed. Especially if you take out their dogs. It adds to the tension, and it makes you not underestimate the enemies, but instead run away when you get overwhelmed. And because you can quickly move over objects or fit through tight spaces, you will never feel slowed down in this rapid reaction. You can luckily still listen, so spot enemies through walls, and this is something you can upgrade as well with skills to make the outlines more clear, or to let you move faster in this specific mode. And another skill can, for example, give you one last chance before you die when reaching a critical level on your health bar. And you can also tweak your difficulty settings, of course, as Game Informer also notes in their article. If you are up for the challenge, then Survivor difficulty is available at launch. And on the other side, you have Very Light, that is likely more like a story mode that we saw in other PlayStation exclusives. But trust me, even on normal, called Moderate, the game can be super challenging if you are not careful. I can't wait to talk about my full experience with this game in a big spoiler-free review that will go live on June 12th, so keep it locked for that. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already for more The Last of Us Part 2 content. Like, I will make sure that you do not miss anything in this game for when it releases. We also still have the big PS5 event coming later this week that I will cover a lot, and check out my previous video on everything we can expect during that live stream by clicking on the screen. For now, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.